Sean, we talked before the game about clean sheets and your lack of them this season, and you got one today and fully deserved, I think you'd say.
Yeah, we worked really hard for it. There's no surprises with Drogheda. We know the way they play. I've said this numerous times. I respect other managers, the way they set out the teams, and they have success from it, so you've got to applaud them for that. And this has been historically a tough place to come for many teams, I think. Up to tonight, they've won 6 out of the last 7, so not many teams are coming here and getting any change. Having said that, I thought spells in the first half, I thought we were very bright. We passed it really well. Probably made the best chance of the game. Keepers made a great save. But then, second half, when we told them that going down the hill with the wind to try and avoid going long, because it's easy to go long and it's easy to get the ball away from your goal. But what we failed to realise is that's playing into Drogheda's hands, because Drogheda will win most of the second balls because they're only pressing with a 3 against our 5, which means that they've got 7 against our 5 going the other way. And every time we passed it and tried to play off from the back, we had good possession 20 yards aside their half, which led to a couple of corners, some throw-ins, some chances. We didn't do it anywhere near enough. So in the end, we tried to out-Drogheda them. Now we're not as good as them at that. And in the end, you're hanging on. When we could have made it a lot more comfortable for ourselves. So that's something we've got to learn about. Having said that, I've been involved in football long enough to know that when you're trying to see out a game and to get a valuable point here, you do panic a little bit, and the best teams in the world sink deep. So you'll see Liverpool, you see Barcelona, you see Real Madrid. In the last minute of games, they'll just boot the ball anywhere and they'll drop off. It's counterproductive, but it's sort of a human instinct. And we've got to try and educate our players that if we're brave enough on the ball, instead of trying to see out a 0-0, we could be going to look to win the game 1 or 2-0, which I would have liked to have done.
In terms of the defensive performance, though, considering we talked about Darragh Leahy before the game missed and Casper is out at the moment as well, you've got Rowan McDonald, who's more or less a midfielder and playing in the defensive role tonight. Andy Boyle, who's missed a lot of matches through injury this season. Ryan is playing on the left side. So, it's a slightly patched together defence, and they looked really rock solid the whole way through the game, I thought. And as you said, you created the best chances of the game.
Yeah, I mean, that's the Boyle that we know. Boyle's a very, very good defender. And everybody in this league knows that. And probably back to his rightful position, centre of a back three. But going back to the clean sheets, you get the clean sheets as an 11. You don't get it as 2s and 3s. And we've been trying to hammer that on to our players. So it's vital that you just, higher up the pitch, you stop the ball stop them getting out. You maybe nick a foul or a throw-in or a corner, but you keep them penned in. And the longer you keep the ball in and around their final third, the easier defending becomes. Now, once we played out, at any stage we played out, they sank back. So nearly all their team were deep inside their own half. So they're not going to trouble you there. So they're craving to move up the pitch. So it becomes like a battle for territory, really. And there's different ways of gaining territory, and you see that in rugby union. You might see teams do a big kick and try and get territory. You might see them run with the ball. You might see them slow the game down and take foul, or take tackle after tackle after tackle till edge up the pitch. So just, obviously we're not playing rugby, we're playing football, but there's different ways of getting territory and gaining territory. And we've just got to be a little bit smarter, I think, and a little bit braver. And if we're braver, I think we can do a bit of damage in this league.
Thanks, John. Well done tonight.
Thank you.
Thanks very much. Thanks a lot. Safe home. Thanks. Good luck in the cup next week.